they win the NFC South.
It's game week. It's here. It's here. Welcome to a new weekly video called The OPPS, where a sicko like myself goes and listens to opposing teams' podcasts, and I come back with intel, and I feed that intel to you guys. We're going to talk about the opposing fan base's perspective, and then we're going to get into the opposing team's personnel, the roster, the coaching staff. What do we have to go up against? Who are the players to watch? What do the Bucs need to do to win this game? So this will be prior to every week. There will be a game preview. Before the game preview, there will be the OPPS, where we learn about the OPPS. And the OPPS this week are the Washington Commanders, who are an interesting football team. They're not a team with huge expectations, and they're a team who are kind of in a position where we as Bucs fans have been plenty of times. Young quarterback, kind of just a lot of veteran pieces thrown around. The weapons are okay. It's just, how do they end up piecing this season together? A whole new coaching staff. Forgot to throw that part in. That's very Bucs-like. Not recently, but, during those days. It's kind of hard to tell how this Commanders team is going to play out this season. And it really all depends on Jaden Daniels. So as I said, I'm a sick man, and the main sentiment I gained from listening to these Washington Commanders podcasts are, honestly, that in their eyes, this is a winnable game. This is a great game to start Jaden Daniels' NFL career off. They look at the Bucs as a average team, which, from an outsider's perspective, the Bucs did go 9-8 last season. So I'm not going to completely bash them for that, but this team's going to be better than it was last season. So if you want to call it them an average season because they went 9-8 last year, barely squeaked into the playoffs, whatever. You got something coming for you. But that was their sentiment, and it was pretty much just, they just want to see how Jaden Daniels plays, and they think the Bucs are a perfect match. Not too good, not too bad. If they end up winning, it'll be like, wow, they beat a team that did make the playoffs last year. And if they lose, then it's just like, okay, the Bucs aren't a bad team, so it's not like we went out and just lost to a bad team in our first game. Great way to measure Jaden Daniels in that first matchup. They acknowledge Mike Evans, they acknowledge Chris Godwin, and this offense. Baker Mayfield, don't seem like they're really believing in the Baker Mayfield redemption arc up there in Washington. Whatever. And then defense, they know that Todd Bowles is his defensive head coach. They think, the Bucs have pieces. They don't have a all-around good defense, but they shout it out. Vita Vea, Antoine Winfield Jr., a Levante David. But altogether, they don't look at the Bucs as Jaden Daniels is not going to be able to handle this defense. He doesn't know what's coming for him. They're just like, we got to watch out for, these three guys at these three levels. Defensive line, watch out for Vita. Linebackers, watch out for Levante David. Safety, secondary, watch out for Antoine Winfield Jr. And you should have a solid game. That's how the OPPS think of us. As usual, not much. But let's go ahead and get into their team, and starting with that quarterback. Jaden Daniels, I'm not going to lie. Big fan. Big fan of Jaden Daniels. I think he is going to be right there with Caleb Williams. They went number 1 and number 2. I think he'll be right there with him for that Rookie of the Year race. I think Caleb Williams has a lot more to work with. When you look at his offense, Odunze, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift behind him, plenty more to work with compared to Jaden Daniels. The weapons are not really there for the Washington Commanders outside of a couple guys. So I still do like Jaden Daniels, and I think he will have a good year. I think stat-wise, Caleb Williams will have a better year. But Jaden Daniels, I think, is a play maker and a play creator. And what I mean by that, when there's plays to be made, Jaden Daniels is a smart quarterback. He's just not out there like superior athlete. He knows when to make plays, and when they're there to make them, that's exactly what he does. Really good thrower of the ball, despite this dual threat narrative that some quarterbacks get, and play creator. When there are no plays there to be made, he somehow finds a way to create plays. And the Bucs will have a handful, and they're going to have to game plan around Jaden Daniels in this way. He is always a threat to run. The guy is an insane athlete. He runs super fast. And the Bucs, Todd Bowles does like to play man coverage, send blitzes. That's going to be tough to do this game because you're playing man coverage. Your back is turned from the quarterback. So if he takes off and runs, and Zion McCollum and Jamel Dean are still chasing Terry McLaurin and Luke McCaffrey down the field, that's trouble. So the Bucs are going to have to find a way to win this game playing zone, containing Jaden Daniels. Looking at the Commanders' depth chart here, moving on from quarterback, running back. Another guy that I do like, Brian Robinson Jr., I think one of the most underrated running backs in the entire NFL. He will just hit the hole, run into you, run you over, run around you. He can catch the ball. I don't think he's a top 10 running back, but I think you can see him in that 12 to 15 range. I truly do. He just hasn't had the opportunity to truly show that to the outsiders, I would say. Behind him, the perfect complement, the perfect third down running back, Austin Eckler. Don't have to do much talking on him. Everyone has seen him from his days with the LA Chargers. I almost called him San Diego. He just gets it done. He's not this insane athlete, but he can catch the ball. He finds space. He knows when to hit the holes, and that's exactly what he does. And he's had a extremely successful career because of that. And now him not having to be that main guy like he was with the Chargers, just being able to play the role he needs to, I think he'll have a good season with the Commanders. And then behind him, real Bucs fans know Jeremy McNichols is still in the NFL. Who knew? So I like that running back room. Receiver room, not so much. Terry McLaurin, baller. But then you go outside of him, Olamide Zaccheaus, we know plenty about him from his time with the Atlanta Falcons. Nothing to be scared of there. Noah Brown just got released by the Houston Texans, landed in Washington. Solid veteran. Nothing to be scared or threatened about there. So outside of Terry McLaurin, what do the Bucs really have to be scared of when it comes to this Commanders receiving core? I mean, Luke McCaffrey, rookie. It's hard to really tell what you're going to see there. Coming out of Rice, I have seen Luke McCaffrey play because Rice is in the same conference as USF, and I'm a USF guy, graduated from USF, so I've seen him play. He is a baller, NFL level. We'll see how that turns out. De'Ami Brown, Jamison Crowder, Byron Pringle, Tampa guy, shout out him. It's not the greatest wide receiver room. It's probably one of the worst in the NFL. When we're looking at outside of your number one guy, if Olamide Zaccheaus is your number 2 wide receiver, you're in trouble as an offense. I'm sorry, but you are. Over to their offensive line, nothing too crazy here either. Left tackle, they have a rookie starting. If this depth chart is correct, Brandon Coleman is a rookie 3rd-round pick for the Washington Commanders. He's starting. Yaya Diaby, get to work. A couple of these other guys, Nick Allegretti, sort of a plug-and-play guy, kind of like Ben Bredesen. Just to give you an example there, pick him up. He's not a consistent starter throughout his time with the NFL, but he found a team with a hole at left guard, sort of like Ben Bredesen, and now he's the starter. So how he ends up playing, TBD. Tyler Biadasz, a Pro Bowler, probably the best guy on this offensive line, was a Pro Bowler in 2022, I believe. So there's something. And then right guard, Sam Cosmi and Andrew Wiley, both solid NFL vets, have played plenty of games, have started plenty of games. Not Pro Bowl guys, but guys that can play and start and get the job done. Onto the defense, and starting with that defensive line, there are a couple names that the Bucs will have to keep an eye on and game plan around, and that's Darren Payne and Jonathan Allen. Since they came into the league, they've been ballers. To this day, they're still ballers. And those two guys in the middle at defensive tackle cause trouble. They cause trouble. And talk about our first round pick, Graham Barton. You got a big test in game 1, my brother. So that is a measuring stick right there for Graham Barton to go out there and face these two guys that line up ahead of him right from the start. I'm excited to see how he plays. I expect he'll hold up. Next to him, Ben Bredeson and Cody Mock. Let's see how they do as well. That interior offensive line was a weakness of the Buccaneers last year. So with that big upgrade at center, and then another year of Cody Mock, Ben Bredeson, new addition there. Let's see how that interior offensive line holds up. One of the biggest things to watch, in my opinion. On the outside there, Farrell and Armstrong. I don't think there's anything too crazy there when it comes to their pass rush. Frankie Louvu, we know about him from his time with the Carolina Panthers. Dante Fowler Jr., seen him. He's made stops around the league. Nothing really too crazy to worry about there. Bobby Wagner, still doing his thing in the middle, not playing at the same level he once was, but still doing his thing. A veteran that knows where to look for, and his experience makes up for the lack of any athleticism that he has lost over the years. And then you get to that safety room, and that's where I think this Bucs team can take huge advantage of this defense if that interior offensive line can give Baker pressure and not make him feel that pressure coming right from the middle in his face. Allow him to be able to step up in the pocket, make throws to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, K. Dotton, Rashad White. The weapons go on and on for the Buccaneers. And if he has time, the Bucs will win this game. Because this cornerback group cannot hang with the likes of Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. It's just, there's no chance. No chance. Their draft pick last year, Emmanuel Forbes, looking like a bust. St. Juiced. Michael Davis. Don't really even know that name. Mike Sainristil. Come on, guys. Back at safety, they have Jeremy Chin. That's a good pickup from them. Again, from the Panthers. I don't know what's going on there. And then Quan Martin. Guys, this is where the Bucs win this game. Big passing day from Baker Mayfield is what I'm predicting. But that is the Washington Commanders roster. So I hope everyone watching this appreciates the just mental troubles, we'll call it, I put myself through week by week listening to other teams' podcasts and just digging and just building this game up. And, once game day comes, I'm just ready to go there at Raymond James Stadium, 425. I can't wait. So leave your comments down below. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. Go Bucs. Y'all have a blessed one.